Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. Today, we are bringing you a special wrestling podcast, almost a breaking news type podcast. And we have Mr. Consistent Jacob Mason with us. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great, man. How are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, well, wrestling-wise, I don't know what to think. So we're going to be talking about two topics. We're just going to go right into it because there's just a lot. So first topic, this past Tuesday, AEW founder Tony Khan announced that Jon Moxley, for those who watch WWE, Dean Ambrose, stated that he will be checking into an alcohol recovery program. And this was big because he's a prominent member of AEW, and for this to be announced, because he was in a huge storyline. He was like world title contention. Wasn't he getting in a tournament for it?
Yeah, he was in a tournament for it.
Yeah, for them to announce it Tuesday and then AEW on Wednesday, CM Punk was out there asking for Jon Moxley cheers because what he did is brave. And real name Jonathan Good, obviously married to Renee Young. And they have their daughter, Nora, together. So, Jacob, man, it's not very often that a wrestler in a prominent storyline takes some time away to deal with some demons they're dealing with, and B, for the owner to give like a little presser stating it, and for the wrestlers to talk about it on show. What'd you think of that?
Honestly, I really think this. I mean, well, first off, shout out to Jon Moxley. Hey, wish you the best of luck going forward and all that stuff. He's a prominent listener of the L7C podcast. But honestly, I really think it shows how much AEW actually gives a shit about its wrestlers. Moxley, gave permission to Khan for him to put that out. And because I think everyone knew, because he's in this prominent tournament right now, that you have to address it, because if not, then no one knows what's going on. Everyone's going to be asking questions. Eventually it would have gotten figured out. The internet wrestling community is like stalkerish like that. But they came out, they addressed it. It is what it is. And I think it looks good on AEW's part. Like, hey, this is a wrestler we had. This is an issue they're having. They're addressing the issue. We wish them the best of luck, and we're going to support them in any way possible. What else could you ask for?
No, I agree. And it's also, it's a real good look on them, because I know you've talked about on previous podcasts the gives a shit level, the family aspect of AEW, and like obviously with the Brody Lee passing and like involving his son and all that, and still like carrying his name. So they've been really family aspect. And the reason I wanted to bring this up too is to go to the major reason why we are recording today, which also today, Jacob's episode just came out, where we were talking about the drama with Charlotte Flair and Ring of Honor releasing everyone. And we know who the king of releases are, WWE. So last Thursday, just yesterday, it's Friday's recording, WWE had another set of releases. And Jacob, again, nobody saw these releases coming. So, Jacob, I'm going to let you take it away on this one. Over 18 people were released yesterday night.
Yeah, so let me pull up the official list here.
I have the list too ready.
You have it, then go for it. I'm looking it up on a group chat, so go ahead.
All right. So we had B-Fab, Amber Moon, Eva Marie, Frankie Monette, Ron Malekith, whatever, Harry Smith,
Grand Metalik.
Yeah, Grand Metalik, thank you. Jeet Rama, Jesse, Arian Cross, Keith Lee, Katrina Cortez, Dorado, Mia Yim, Nia Jax, Scarlett, Trey Baxter, Zadra, and Lorcan. 18 people released yesterday night, Thursday night. And obviously, prominent names are just sticking out there. Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Mia, Nia, Scarlett, and Eva Marie. Jacob, what the hell?
Yeah, so all right. So for the listeners out there, we have our little group chat between me, Martin, and Byron. And Byron posted out that there was rumors there was going to be releases the other day. Personally, I looked at it and I thought, yeah, whatever. Like, it's just rumors. I highly doubt who could they possibly get rid of? Was my exact thoughts when I seen that at work. Holy shit, they come out with this list? Because at first I seen Scarlett. Scarlett was the first person I seen that got released. And I'm thinking, I'm literally sitting on the couch with my wife and go, holy hell, I said, they just released Scarlett. She goes, they get rid of Cross. I'm like, not yet that I know of. You know, like 5 minutes, like every 5 minutes, it was just boom, 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 another one. Yeah, DJ Khaled, another one. And holy shit, this one was weird because you have a bunch of big names and a bunch of just like NXT, like out of their performance center people. I mean, there's God, I don't even know where to start with this.
So you were on your couch when when Byron's like, oh, there might be some releases. I thought it was going to be more like front office exec people, which a couple people did resign, but we were watching Eternals, which shameless plug, we'll be reviewing that tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that podcast. And like, we see your message, like, you see what's going on. I'm like, no, we just finished a movie. What's up? He's like, dude, check social media. There's releases. I go to Twitter. First one I see is Keith Lee, and I'm like not moving in the theater, even like post the Marvel credit scenes. I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, I need to catch up on what's been going on. Like, what the hell is happening? So I'm just frantically scrolling through Twitter. Every 3 tweets, a wrestler. I'm like, what is happening? Dude, I was floored. I was just confused because like they just changed Keith Lee's name to Keith the Bearcat Lee. Karrion Kross was wearing that red mask. They just brought Eva Marie back. Like, they made it such a big deal, like, oh, someone's coming back, and it was Eva Marie. And I mean, I know where I want to start too is with Nia Jax, because, and I don't think anyone could have saw that coming, because obviously if you listen to our podcast, you watch wrestling, you know who she's related to. So people were saying it was because she was unvaccinated or whatever. Then Nia Jax, she clapped back today. And I'm not going to read it verbatim, but I have her post up that she commented. She said she keeps her personal life private, which all respect to that. I like that. She said she took a short leave from WWE for a mental health break. She's been working through so much, more than I can share. So I took some time, full support of the company, take care of myself. Earlier this week, after WWE sent me my schedule to return to the ring for November 15th show, I asked for an extension to my mental health break, feeling I needed more time and hoping I can have the ongoing support of the company I've given my all for the past 7 years. I did not receive a response. The next I heard, I was being released. My vaccination status was never mentioned. I wasn't given any choices or options. Then she talks about how it breaks her heart. Which, the reason I want to start with her, Jacob, is because that is a complete opposite of support like Jon Moxley just got at AEW. Like,
yeah, that was a perfect follow through right there, buddy.
Thank you. Like, that's shit. And no offense to any of the wrestlers. It's not like they just did this to some normal wrestler. They did it to someone related to the freaking Rock. Like, what if that pisses him off and he's like, all right, I'm not coming for WrestleMania 38?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it's shit. It's really shit. I feel bad for Nia. I know Nia's brought on a lot of bullshit upon herself throughout the years. She's had her moments where she's been great. She's had her moments where she's been shit. It is what it is. I feel really bad for her though. I mean, being like, hey, I gotta take a mental health break, and in this day and age, I mean, like, I think more and more people completely get that. We understand that.
And they're doing it. We saw Simone Biles at the Olympics. There's people in the NFL doing it. Jon Moxley was in a prominent thing, and he has his alcohol and stuff, so he's taking care of that. And like Nia, and I agree with you, man. Like, this was not the time to get rid of her. You didn't get rid of her when she was legitimately hurting other wrestlers, but you get rid of her the day after she says, I need a mental health break. Again, bring it back. How the hell are you going to do that and then be campaigning anti-bullying? Like, you didn't take the girl's mental health seriously. You didn't respond, but the next thing you said is release. Like, that's not good, man.
Yeah. Poor Nia. Yeah, a lot of these just suck. I mean, that one kind of blew my mind the most.
Yeah.
Nia's the only one out of this entire group who's been in WrestleMania and won a championship at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, So I guess she was the biggest. I don't know if she was the biggest name, but
I would say from accolade wise, yes.
Yeah.
But like family wrestling wise, absolutely.
Fact. Yeah, that one was weird. And then we get, shit, let's just talk about. So when all this is going on and me and my wife are on the couch, and every 5 minutes someone's getting released. And it's Karrion Kross, and the next thing you see is Keith Lee. I literally was like, holy shit. A year ago, they just had like their big match in NXT. And I had to pull up the promo, the video package for that, for their match, where it was I remember the Metallica song Frantic was playing in the background. It was like a sweet ass video package. I literally pulled it up, watched it. I was like, this is awesome. I'm like, how the hell do you take these two guys that were main eventing an NXT pay-per-view for a championship, and 1 year later, they're both on the main roster. They have both been shit on completely, and then you release them.
I'll even go back further because it's about to be November. A couple years ago, this is where Keith Lee had his big for main roster when he was the last one in the Survivor Series going against Roman Reigns.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was a banger of a match, too.
That was the only match SmackDown won, the 5-on-5, because, Roman. But it was him and Keith. Keith was repping NXT at the end and made it believable. And then, Roman, then they did the fist bump in the end. Then you had Keith Lee with, freak, you want to talk about debuting too, the face-to-face with Brock Lesnar at the Rumble. Like, and Karrion Kross, I mean, the dude had one of the best entrances with his wife. And it's bad. Because if you just think about the past couple NXT champions of the past couple of years, they're gone. Adam Cole's gone. Now Keith Lee's gone. Karrion Kross is gone. Those are like your last like 3 or so NXT champions.
Samoa Joe was gone, then he came back.
Yeah, and then that was a whole other thing. Like, they had him in the ring at WrestleMania for the whole weekend, released him on Monday. That was wild. And of course, they used the Johnny Ace, which anytime there's cuts, it will always be retweeted. The CM Punk John Cena SummerSlam segment, where CM Punk talks about Johnny Ace, like, ooh, I'll be finding new endeavors, kid. And then send the email. And of course, every time these happen, they say budget cuts. This is factual that this is bullshit. And I can tell you right now, I'm on WWE's investor page, got the email, have the legit thing from Vince McMahon and the company. This was on November 4th, the day of the cuts, a couple hours before the cuts. WWE revenue was up 15%, or $34.2 million. Their revenue in the third quarter was $255 million. One of their records. And they equate that to higher ticket sales, venue merchandise, and SummerSlam. Operating income was 64 million. That went up. Everything went up, man. Like you made 255 million in the quarter, and you're telling everyone budget cuts. I know I'm getting sick of that lie, man. I really am. Like if anyone's doubting me, I could post the investor thing at the bottom of the description of this episode when it comes out. I'm looking at it right now. Third quarter results, November 4th, 2021. I don't know, man. They need to stop lying. They really do, because you're making 15% more than you were last quarter, and you just got rid of 18 people. What do you just quit the lying? Like and then you're sending email. I also too, I get it, but I don't like the emails. Like if you're gonna tell people their dream potentially is over if they don't get any other work, but if these people get work, it's like you should at least call them or call them to come into the office and have a fucking face-to-face conversation instead of just sending. Like, what if they don't have email on their phone? Like, oh, you haven't checked some. And in this day and age too, I know some of these people are finding out they're getting released on Twitter by the Meltzers and like PW, all of them. They're the ones now say like, oh, so-and-so got released. And then someone's at the gym like, oh shit, I just got released. Like, what? That's disrespectful, man. And I'm kind of getting fed up with it. And then with Frankie, she clapped back on a couple fans because fans were like, oh, they want to be like younger women and all of that. And Mickie James said the same thing. Like, and it's true. 38 in hindsight is not old. And it shouldn't be old for women wrestlers, especially because you're seeing fucking men get be number one contenders and world title holders in their 50s.
Yep.
Goldberg comes back once a year, and he's always the number one contender for the title. And he's way past 38.
Yep.
I mean, Finn Balor's over. I think Finn Balor's close to 38. Randy Orton's close to 30. John Cena, Roman Reigns. Like, I could keep naming them. Like,
fucking AJ Styles is old as hell.
AJ Styles is old as hell, too. Like, what are we doing here?
I have no idea. What, I mean, all right, so continue on the Frankie Monet thing. She only had 6 matches in NXT. 6. Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing that shocked me was when I seen she got released, I figured John Morrison was the next one to get released.
He was not.
He was not. It was shocking. Shit. Let's talk about Eva Marie.
Makes no sense. 0 sense. She loses her feud with Doudrop, and they're like, all right, you're done.
She literally came in, introduced Piper Niven, gave her a shitty name, had a feud with Doudrop, lost it, and now she's gone. What the hell? I don't even like Eva Marie, and I feel bad for her here.
And she was already promoting new work, so I don't think she was feeling too bad either. So but all of them are promoting work now. Like, shoot, Scarlett now she ain't gonna be part of Third Party. She's like, oh, who wants to like or retweet this tweet if you think I should make it OnlyFans or like stuff like that? She's like, oh, I can't wait to go to work and like actually wrestle in 2 years. It's like, it's bad, man. Like I know we're all talking about like, oh, we don't know what they're doing. People are like, oh, we don't know what they're into. I was like, bro, I just read the investor thing. They're making profit. We're thinking like they're gonna sell the company. But if I'm a buyer, what the hell am I gonna buy with like 12 people to promote across the planet? That's what I'm confused about. Like, how is this appealing to a buyer that there's less people while AEW's there gaining ground and they already have top stars? We already said last time that their men's division is better than this men's division. So it's like, now you're going to put all these people out, Aaron Cross, Keith Lee. We're still waiting for the Bray Wyatt signing. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, something else. I mean, you both said it on this podcast. multiple times.
Mhm.
Karrion Kross looked exactly like what Vince McMahon could want in a wrestler.
And his wife.
Bingo. All right. I've been thinking about this
show for a reason.
Yeah. All right. I've been thinking about this all day. And we're going to throw out, grab your tinfoil hats. It's time. Hot takes. Let's go. So, I could be 100% wrong on here. I'm just going to spew my bullshit. So, Vince McMahon has said that he's no longer going to hire indie stars. He's just going to be making his own superstars now. Yeah, and he's getting ex-football players, wrestlers, and whatever else. He's now taking all these indie guys and just absolutely, they'll get built up in NXT. Well, they used to when Triple H was running it, and they'd be hot as hell after coming off the indies from being hot, and then go into the main roster, get shit on, get released. This is is Vince trying to flood the market with indie wrestlers that have just been put to shit right now? Because every time I'm seeing these releases, I mean, you see the comments of AEW or nine times out of 10,
can't go to Ring of Honor right now because their whole roster's on the free market.
Yeah, can't go to Ring of Honor. I mean, you have your options there. I mean, there's definitely options, but is Vince trying to flood the market right now with ex-indie stars and hoping AEW just keeps picking them up and costing money?
So you mean try to sabotage them in that way that, I mean, these names you have to sign them. That means, like we talked about with Punk and them, you have to pay them. So then they realize oh, we don't have the money to be paying these guys. No, we got to start releasing people.
Yeah, I mean, you remember when Vince said that, well, we'll give him more talent or whatnot, or what the hell was his quote? And he released Bray Wyatt the next day or all that shit. So I don't know, something seems fishy here. I just feel like Vince McMahon and his evil genius ways, mainly evil because not too much of a genius anymore.
No.
I feel like he's just trying to sabotage everyone and lower their stock when they leave WWE.
I think it sucks too because it's WWE and stuff like that. You can't have interviews. If this was an NBA or NFL or NHL team, ESPN would be on the owner's ass to try and get an interview ASAP. Fox would, the news. Vince doesn't do interviews anymore. None of them do. I wish someone would get them one-on-one in a room and ask, what the hell is this? Because I do want to hear what they're doing, because the fact that we just see it, they don't say anything, that kind of pisses me off.
And then on top of that, why the hell aren't we seeing entire writing staffs being let go? Because honestly, the writing is such shit in WWE. It's how can you let the wrestlers go when you know the wrestlers are actually legit and can do damn near anything you could ask for, and you literally give them the worst storyline of all time, which includes Keith Bearcat Lee, which he came out and said, that's bullshit. I never wanted that.
Just like Karrion Kross today said, nobody wants that fucking mask.
Exactly.
That's the one good thing about, is to make light. It's the one good thing about the releases, because then they can say whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, these guys are going to end up on Jericho's podcast or Stone Cold's, and it's going to be wild.
Oh yeah. My thing is though, and we just talked about this literally last week. So who's wrestling in Survivor Series? What do we do this every time with what does the roster have left? Last time they had the cuts, we're what do they have left? This is 18 people. It's so what are we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, you're going to have. I mean, are they going to end up doing a Bloodline versus New Day-esque Survivor Series match?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, because that's the only thing that's kind of halfway makes sense anymore.
I just don't know what they're like. Again, everyone's biggest thing is they're selling the company, which again, like I'm saying, like if I'm a buyer, like Jacob, if you're a buyer right now, does what WWE is doing look appealing for you to spend? You're gonna have to pay over $1 billion to purchase it, probably like 4. Like, is that appealing for you to spend 4 billion seeing what they're doing and you're inheriting a thing with no roster, shitty writers? Like, is that something you want to spend 4 billion to inherit?
For me, as a wrestling fan, absolutely not.
Okay.
To me, as someone, if I just happen to have 4 billion laying around, which I currently don't, yeah, that's appealing to me because you can see their profit margin.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, because people buy shit and be like, well, this is obviously making money. Well, let's just buy it. You don't have to be a wrestling genius to just look at the numbers and go, oh yeah, let's just buy it. You know, I'm sure there's a lot more involved than to let's just buy it. But you know, I'm sure someone's gonna buy it and just be like, hey, so and so, you know, help me run this. And they'll run it or whatnot.
That's a good point. I would only counter, I guess I would have is that you're right, there is a profit, but that's because spoiler for people who don't know, the WWE wrestlers wrestle more than just Monday and Fridays. If you didn't know, there's live events like every day of the week, and that's actually a main driving voice, pushing wise money. But you get rid of all these people. Who's doing the live events? If you don't have people doing the live events, you're not making that ticket money anymore. Like, who the hell is going to buy a higher ticket to see? Since you brought him up, John Morrison versus I don't freaking know. And no, we like him. Mustafa Ali 3 nights in a row in 3 different cities. Who's paying for that?
Yeah, say that again.
Like, I just want to know who's paying for that stuff. Like, at least with the live events, you can use these people. And we just talked about this with Mandy Rose. If you don't have anything for them, send them back to NXT. Let them reinvent themselves.
Exactly. I don't know, man. I wish we could see what is I wish we could get some interviews. I wish we could be a fly on the wall in these meetings. Because I just feel like there has to be some bigger picture, whether it's selling the company or whatever else. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like there has to be something else that we're missing that they're obviously not saying. Because everything just feels like everything's speculation.
Right. And you shared the funniest thing, like WWE is supposed to be coming out with 2K 2022. And who are they? Who's going to be? First of all, there's going to be no one in the game.
Get ready for DLC.
Yeah, DLC, re-release people. But you even shared like start in BCW, get signed to NXT, win the NXT championship, get called up to Raw, get a gimmick change, get released, black screen. Thanks for playing career mode. To be continued in AEW video game. Sign with AEW, feud with Cody.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, some of the memes have actually been hilarious. Like I've seen one where it's the pissed off guy. I don't know if he's at like a basketball game or something, but it's I don't know. I'll have to find it, send it to you. But it's like 2K22 developers watching all their releases get released again. Mm-hmm. It's just the guy pissed off. Like, I don't know, man.
And then you see other people get mad. Mick Foley's like, what the hell is WWE doing? They just, especially with Charlotte and Carrie, and they just fumbled a huge bag there.
You mean Scarlett?
Yeah, Scarlett, I'm sorry. Jordan Gray, she was hot about the releases because it's just like, you see what they're doing, watch something else. Or it's not the fact that they're releasing people, it's the fact that like just the way they're going about it, they're just terrible. And it's like, he'll probably never listen, but hey, if anyone in WWE is listening, to the L7C podcast. It's going to be an official one from the L7C podcast. Don't care who you are, as long as you're in there. You have a free invite. L7C podcast. Me and Jacob will hear your side of the story. None of y'all probably listen. Maybe someone does who lives in like France, but we want answers, and no one's asking for answers. Like, what the hell is Dave Meltzer doing? This is supposed to be his job.
Yeah. And then you'll have the wrestlers who will go and do podcasts or radio shows or whatnot, but they're not allowed to speak completely freely, because when they do, they all get fired.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, just come on. I'd love, shoot, if it's under like, a certain amount of money, we'll pay you to come on, because we just want to know. And our fans want to know. Like, we want to know what you guys are doing. You guys are selling. I just want to know who and like what. Because I get it. Like what Jacob said, I couldn't, as a wrestling fan, I couldn't buy WWE. Not right now. I mean, there's nothing appealing to me to spend $4 billion, like, and then I'm gonna have to spend $4 billion, realize I have no wrestlers on my roster, and sign all these. Well, try and convince them to come back.
Yeah. Now with the $4 billion, does that come with the blood money pay-per-views too?
I'm pretty sure Vince and the Prince and Kings of Saudi Arabia all signed a contract in blood. So this is wild, man. And we weren't even going to be coming back to like Survivor Series. I think Jacob next podcast, screw Survivor Series. Like Byron has said, you can build a whole. We've said this last time with Mickey James's releases. That group, you can build a whole promotion. 2020 and 2021, you can build a whole company. Shoot, next podcast, let's build our own wrestling promotion out of these releases.
I'm down.
That's our Survivor
that
Series.
list I sent you has everyone but Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan, because they're the only ones who like haven't got released. They just let their contracts.
Yeah, they left on their own terms. Yeah, like let's do that, because this is crazy. And let's see if that could compete with WWE right now.
Yeah, I mean, also back to your like, would I buy WWE right now? Man, there's 12 other indies I'd rather buy than WWE right now as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is also, shout out to the wrestling gods for not doing this 5 minutes after our last podcast. They gave us like 2 days to just kind of like chill out. Then they dropped these bombs on us.
That is true. They didn't do it. It was 2 days, but it's always the same, man. We record and then something happens. Every time. Jacob, anything else, man? Like this is we talked about John and Renee, and we all know, wish John and their family all the best as he's going through stuff. They're moving back to Ohio, from Las Vegas to Ohio. Don't know where in Ohio, but they're moving to Ohio.
They're going to be Mitch's neighbors.
That would be crazy. Or Justin, because Justin lives down in like Cincinnati area too. But I think
it's got to be Cincy area.
Yeah, gotta be. Jacob, anything else, man?
Oh man, I don't think so. That's the wrestling news as of this week.
We went from Charlotte drama, Ring of Honor. WWE said, all right, we haven't released anyone in a while. Let's just do some random budget cuts. And the timing, bro. How do you cut people after saying you made 15% more freaking profit?
All right, I got something here. I was thinking about this too while I was at work. Why is it that when Ring of Honor released all those people, I was like, okay, we're going to go with the complete rebrand. Ring of Honor realizes we have to change things to make things better. And I'm like, I felt bad for all the people getting released, but I felt like there was a little bit of hope there. With these WWE releases, maybe it's just because it's like the 13th time they've done this shit. I'm just pissed off.
Yeah.
And I know everyone knows I'm a mark for AEW. I'm a hater of WWE recently. But like, damn, they just keep fucking people over.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It's really it's something else. I almost thought you were about to say that they released all these people because Ring of Honor just let everyone out their contracts, and they're trying to switch some people and get Ring of Honor people, but that would make no sense. But
no, because they're not going to get those indie people, allegedly.
But making no sense is what WWE does, though. So maybe it does make sense. Maybe they're 200 IQ, and because they just do stupid shit every day.
Maybe we'll get Michael Bennett and Maria Kanellis back.
Oh fuck! No, she ain't coming back.
Oh She's man, let's get that. They had the greatest theme song of recent memory.
She's not coming back because she's already new.
She'll come back. They'll get pregnant. They'll be set. Take some time off. Come back for a couple months. Get pregnant again.
My last thing though, before we close, was with Nia Jax. Like WWE with the cuts, you could say it's budget. You're lying, but it's all right. Hide behind your lie. Well, would you cut in Nia Jax and then like Nia Jax posting that she was having mental health stuff and then you guys not even responding? That makes you look real fucking shitty. Super shitty. And just like I said again, compared to your competitor who's letting Moxley in a main title picture go off, take care of himself for his family, that's bad. Like I could never see WWE doing that.
You mean AEW?
No, with WWE, I could never see them doing what AEW did.
Oh,
with like Moxley. You're in the main title picture, you're gonna do it. If you leave, fine. You're just gonna lose your spot and you're gonna be at the bottom and forgotten and then released in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I know it looks so shitty on WWE's part. I understand them not responding back to Nia Jax because I think it looks worse if they respond now. But like, it looks so shitty from just right. How old are you, Martin? You're what, 30, 29?
29.
All right, I'm 29 too. Like, from this standpoint, I know Byron would agree with us still. Like, this looks just so bad from a quote unquote millennial point of view, looking at WWE as a company. I don't want to support a company that does this shit to people because I would never want this done to me. You know,
you're right. And like, as like this generation and stuff, why would you go work there? Like, mental health's a bigger thing in this day and age. And if you're having mental health things, like, why would you go work there if they're not even going to support someone who's related to one of their greatest stars ever when they're having mental health things that we don't even know? And sooner or later, it just, unless she keeps it super private, which is her privacy, and I respect that. But if she goes on like a Jericho thing and just fully goes out on what she was going through, and we find out all this shit, and WWE knew and couldn't even call Nia freaking Jax, that's bad.
Yeah, these next 3 months, let's see. The end of January should be really interesting.
I know, Royal Rumble. Can't wait for Goldberg to be numbers 15 through 30 because they only have like 15 men.
No, dude, we got Mansoor. We're going to pull him out from the Saudi Arabia roster.
He's not undefeated in America. He's undefeated over there.
That's fine, but listen, we're going to pull him from the Saudi Arabia roster. We'll drop him in the American roster. He's going to fill up a couple slots. Shit, he'll probably win the Rumble.
Oh God. All right. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Vince McMahon, WWE, give the L7C podcast a like, retweet. Let's talk. I don't care if you respond to our tweet or say stop talking. We just want to know what's going on because right now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. WWE, you're looking real shitty. Get it together. And with that being said, L7C signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.